ado, it is indeed time once again to introduce to all of you our esteemed guest speaker for today. With everyone's permission, let me introduce Fursey Gotuaco, who is an executive speech coach who has been teaching theater and speech for over 30 years. He is an educational leader, a trainer of trainers, and a TEDx speaker and coach. A 6-time district champion, Fursey has excelled in evaluation, table topics, and international speech contest events across District 25, 85, and 128. In August 2020, he was awarded District 25's Toastmaster of the Year. Fursey has reached the semi-finals of the World Championship of Public Speaking 3 times and the finals twice. Please help me welcome Fursey Gotuaco to share his insights with us today.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Madam Master of Ceremonies, of all the words you use to describe me, what's the one word that you think best describes me?
Trainer of trainers.
That's 3 words. You're good.
Well,
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're
more
good.
than
You're
one.
good. You're good. I just want to mess with you, even though I promised Toastmaster Dinesh that I would mess with him the most. You're about to get some as well. And don't worry, Naga, you too. I think it's important that we remember that there are a lot of words that we say, and our audiences cannot remember all of them. So we have to think carefully. What's the one word or the one phrase that we want our audiences to walk away with? Because everybody else is thinking about everything else, including what they ate for breakfast, what they're going to eat for lunch, things that they have to shop for, their children, their parents, the job. Wow. PQD Khalid Jalal has a lot to think about. He can't think about everything that you just said, but we're going to give him one thing to think about. We're going to give KM Thomas one thing to think about. Trainer of trainers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go with trainer of trainers. Our job as trainers is to grow. Allow me to clarify. To grow others. Right? We grow and we grow others. So let me remind everyone to please turn on your cameras, because many of you know I'm interactive. And when I say interactive, I mean interactive. We're going to be having you doing things. And that's how I make sure that we're really growing. So we're going to be growing, ladies. Oh, Robin, how you doing? It's good to see you. I always mispronounce your name, Robin. So sorry. Okay, good. I was just making sure that was you and not those pictures that you put up there, you know? Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
DTM Fursey.
Yes.
Sorry for apology. Just allow me to click one group photo, then you can continue, please. Sorry.
We're going to take a group photo. That's a good idea. Way to go, Dinesh.
Please switch on the camera in that 5 seconds.
You notice how he did that? He's going to make sure everybody's camera can actually open. Good job. Way to go, Toastmaster Dinesh. I told DTM Khalid that you were the right man for this job.
1, 2,
I took your advice.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you.
Okay. I wasn't sure how far you were going to go with that, Dinesh. But we're going to use that. I am going to use counting 1 to 10 just a little bit later on in this meeting. So everybody get ready for that. All right. Let's get to it. GROW, that's what you need to remember. We're going to be talking about gestures, relating, orchestration, and words. Gestures, relating, orchestration, and words. Let's start with gestures. We're going to do some warm-ups. So at this point, could I go ahead and have you turn on your cameras, and we're going to do some warm-ups. We're going to, if you can, stand, if you will, please. If you can, go ahead and stand. I want you to demonstrate some things with me, all right? Go ahead and stand. I know. Yeah, go ahead and put some pants on if you need to. Go ahead and stand. There you go. You can't learn to speak without speaking. And you can't learn to do physical gestures without doing physical gestures. You can't. All right. Roll your head one way. And remember, we're recording this, so it's going to look like, you know, and roll it the other way. That's right, Master of Ceremonies, Najla. It's going to be funny. Good. And now try this. Instead of rolling, I want you to simply pivot your head to one side and back. Good. And now pivot to the other side and back. Now try this. Tilt your head forward, but look up. Good. Now, while it's still forward, look to the side. Yeah. You see some smiles, don't you? Tell me why you're smiling.
Everyone's looking really, really gorgeous.
Yes, they are. Look at Jata. Is that a picture of Jata? Even the picture of Jata looks good. Okay. Yes, we can tilt our head in all different directions. And yet most people only speak with their head on top of a pole looking forward. But we can still look forward even to the side. Try that. Rawia, Hamdi, Toastmaster Hamdi. Go ahead and try that. Just tilt to the side, look forward, raise the eyebrow, and say to the camera, are you sure that's the answer you want to go with? Right? Right. See, I have to say that to my students all the time. When they say, I don't have my homework, my dog ate the homework. I'm like, really? But you think about that in our speeches. In our speeches, we pose questions to our audience. Why stay up like this when we can tilt? We can tilt. We can tilt. Yes, I can still look out forward even though my head is tilted. It says so much. It says so much. Right? Look at Toastmaster Zena. Wow. Look at that. Yeah. See, we can do a lot in there. Does this make sense? So simply by tilting our heads, we can create meaning. We can create meaning. Excellent. Next, our shoulders. Can you hold up your shoulders? We're going to get some stress out of our shoulders. Hold them up. 1, 2, 3, and relax. Good. And up. 1, 2, 3, and relax. Very good. Did you all see how well Toastmaster Dinesh did that? Go ahead. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, and relax. He does that so well because when he was in school, they would go, Dinesh, what's the answer? And he would say, I don't know. Okay. So, and now Toastmaster Dinesh going, I hate my job. All right. Next thing I want you to do is roll your arms forward like this. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Good, good, good. There you go. Uma, very nice. Excellent. Try not to hit the cat, Dinesh. And back. Oh, Swarnalatha. Excellent. Boy, I hope I said that right. Good. And now 1 forward, 1 back. Go ahead. Give it a try. 1 forward, 1 back. Some of you are cheating. You're actually moving both arms backwards, but at different times. 1 forward, 1 back. And now reverse it. And now you're wondering why in the world I would have you do this, Toastmaster Ravi or Toastmaster Bervin. Here's what you want to think about. Do this with me, 2 hands up, and slowly move 1 hand back and 1 hand forward. And stop. Why would we ever have to have our hands in this position? What's this hand doing?
Your screen, your display.
Yes, PowerPoint, right? And yet so many people do this with the PowerPoint. No one wants to look at that bald head. I know that. Event Chair Ahmed, I'm so sorry to break that to you, but no one really wants to look at the back of our head. Not when they can look at your beautiful smile, sir. Not when they can see your gorgeous smile. So we don't need to show the back of our head. We use our eyes, but we use our hands to gesture where we want them to look. You don't have to look back at your PowerPoint. You know what's on the PowerPoint. You made the PowerPoint. So we don't need to look back there when we can use our hands. But what's our hand doing up here? What's this hand doing? Naga?
Audience. Audience.
Audience.
Giving the message.
Yes.
Giving the
Look at
message.
that. I can gather the view of my audience using my hands. Right? I can direct their attention. Now I realize that for the championship, you're not going to be using a PowerPoint, but you can talk about the past. You could talk about the past and then the future. We don't think about that, do we? We just don't talk about or think about our hands going behind us. Go ahead, do this one more time, and then simply walk across to the other side of your screen and use the other hand. It's that easy. It is that easy to walk to the other side of your screen and put your other hand up where you know they're looking. Yes? It's simple. There you go, Zena. There you go. Are you okay? Oh, okay. All right. All right. So what we can do is use both hands going backwards, but we don't think about that unless we're warming up and we realize what is the full extent of my gestures. Yes. What is the full extent of my gestures? Excellent. Next, what I want you to do is to put your hands up. Show me all your fingers. That's right. Get that breakfast out of your hands. And now just your thumbs. Ratinder. Thank you. Ratinder, good. And now the pointer finger. And now the middle finger, which in America we use to communicate when we're driving. And now the ring finger. Swarnalathi understands that. And then the pinky. And now all the fingers. Now add your wrists. Look at those hands. Look at the hands on the screen. You've got the fingers and the wrists going independently. Now add your elbows. Would you do that for me? Now add your shoulders. Excellent. And this is what Toastmaster Dinesh calls dancing. Okay. We are doing isolations. We're reminding ourselves that our hands, our fingers can be isolated. You can isolate just certain parts of your body. Yes, there you go, Naga. You can isolate simply other parts of your body. Watch. Right? You don't have to use the whole hand. You can just use certain parts of your hand. Think about this. I want you to look at your wrist and move just the wrist. I'm not moving anything else except my wrist. This is frozen. This is moving. Move just the wrist. Now, for what reason would we want that? For what reason would we want to create this motion? Any thoughts? Toastmaster Radia?
Walking.
Walking. Okay, good. Anybody else? Other thoughts? Moving just the wrist, not the hand, but the wrist.
Show the pace,
Pace, good.
tone.
Tone, good. What else? Toastmaster Celine, your thoughts? Are you doing this behind closed cameras? Give it a try. I guarantee you, if all you do is only look at me today, you won't remember to do this. 30 years of teaching, I know if I let my students just sit there and watch me do it, They won't do it. They will
Never.
not do it. There you go, Manoj. There you go. Think about the different things that you can show simply by doing that. And your lives are sophisticated. It could be the wind. It could be you in fate. It could be the spirits. It could be holding up your baby's hand for the first time and you thought, wow, how beautiful life is. I don't know. That's up to you to decide. I'm just saying, look at the possibilities. Yes, all you did was isolate the wrist. So that's part of gesturing. Next, what I want you to do is you're back up again, all right? So I know some of you sat down. It's okay. Go ahead and stand back up. And now what I want you to do is to keep your hips in place and rotate just your upper torso, just your upper body. Good. Now I want you to rotate your lower and your upper torso together. Yes, you're rotating your upper and your lower torso. So you're twisting all the way down to your ankles and your knees. There you go, Manoj. There you go, Ravindran. Excellent. And now, for you truly talented people like Uma, I want you to twist in opposite directions. So your upper body goes one way, but your lower body goes the other. Your upper body twists one way, and the lower body twists the other way. Excellent. Tell me why I would need you to do that. Why would we
get
need
some
to
attention.
say it again?
You want to get some attention about something else you want to show.
Good. When we isolate the upper and the lower torso, we realize we can twist. So our body doesn't have to be like this. Our body can be like this. Yes, our body can twist. And when I twist, remember this, I put one hand here. My hips are facing here. My upper torso is facing here. And my hand is over here. I'm basically going in 4, maybe even 5 different directions.
Yeah, different lanes.
So when we think about our audiences, we're connecting with all of them. I sustain their eye focus. I look at them all. I come over here, I sustain their eye focus, and now I'm looking at the middle. And if you watch my final speech or even my semi-final speech, you'll see my hands up in the air. And they're holding my audience's attention, just like I am right now. And all of you can do that. All of you can hold your audience's attention with your hands while they're there. Yes? So this is part of what we want to do with our isolations, that my chest can face one way, my hips can go another. And certainly if you saw my finals and you saw me in the chair, you realize, oh my gosh, he's got all parts of his body moving in all different directions. I'm not expecting you to be in a chair facing upside down, but I am inviting you to consider how your body really moves. And if your body is moving and there's a diagonal to your body, yes, there's a diagonal to your body, that's tension. You look at all the artwork of the great artists, and the bodies and the torsos twist ever so slightly. Even today, photographers, when you get your photos done professionally, they say, look here, turn your body this way and put your hand over here.
Yeah.
What are they doing? They're twisting your body. They're twisting your body so that you can have tension. Yes? They're twisting your body. It's a reminding. When you do these warm-ups, you're simply reminding yourself of the potential that you have. Excellent. There's one more thing we need to warm up. And that's our faces. We need to warm up our faces. So would you do this with me? Would you go ahead and make as big a face as possible? And now a smaller face. And big face. And small face. I used to threaten my students. I go, hey, if you keep your face small like that for a long time, you look Chinese. We're just remembering to use our facial expressions. This is the #1 place our audiences will look. They will look at our faces if possible. Gestures. There are 3 Ds to gesturing: direction, duration, dynamic. Direction, duration, dynamic. Direction, duration, dynamic. Does this make sense, Yo-Yo?
Yes.
Direction, duration,
Dynamic.
dynamic. Mohini, does this make sense? Now, here's what you want to think about on the direction. Direction is obviously moving your hands in different directions, but specifically, I want you to think about breaking the 3 planes. There are 3 planes, geometric planes. Take a look. Did you notice what I did there? I got quiet. Sometimes your audience needs you to be quiet. Not because you're irritating. I mean, I might be, but because they need to absorb what they're seeing. Your audience needs to absorb what they're seeing. They can't absorb what they're seeing when they're trying to absorb what they're hearing. So just and let the slide show for itself. Yes. Sagittal, horizontal, frontal. So here are the 3 planes. There's one plane right here, right down the middle. Go ahead and do that for me. You're showing the plane right down the middle. This is sagittal, as if you're riding a saddle, okay? Sagittal. It divides the left from the right. So go ahead and take your right hand and cross it over your body. There you go. It's that simple. You're crossing over to the other parts of your body. Most times this stays here and this stays here. But when we can go to opposite sides, we can break this divider that's in our audience's mind. And you can even turn your whole body. Remember twisting our body? You can twist your whole body to where you can use this whole side. Look at all this empty space. We tend to gesture within the shoulders. Yes, we tend to gesture right within the shoulders. I'm suggesting that you gesture outside of your shoulders. So you're crossing this plane. The direction is through the plane. So go ahead and move your right hand across the picture. There you go. You've crossed it. Here's the second plane, horizontal. The horizontal plane divides the upper from the lower. Most times people gesture, I'm going to lower my camera. Most times we gesture right here because that's where our elbows are. So we tend to stay right here and our hands stay right here and our hands stay just like this. Come on now. Some of you have been with me long enough. What do I call this gesture? Anybody remember? Forklift. You know, like in construction, Zena, forklift, beep, 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 beep. I am here to deliver a message. Wow, if we're gonna do that, we might as well just send an email, right? This doesn't show anything. It doesn't demonstrate anything. Does this make sense to you? This is simply hands up. It kind of actually means I got nothing. I have nothing. If a child comes to you and you go, hey, did you take that last piece of cookie? No, look, I got nothing. So how can we go to our audiences, Zena, and say, I have something so important to tell you? Really? Because it kind of looks like you're telling me you got nothing. So we have to remember our fingers, yes, which we warmed up, right, Khalid? We got to remember we warmed up our fingers, but more than anything, we want to raise our gesture so they're not at our elbows. We can raise our gesture up to here. We can raise our gesture all the way up. We can raise our gesture, we can lower our gestures all the way to the ground. If you remember my final speech, I'm on the ground and I'm up on the chair. I'm breaking what the audience expects. They expect my head to be at a certain height, and I change it. I change it. You're forcing your audience to move their head. You're forcing your audience to move their eyes. That keeps them interested. I'm not saying you have to move it all the time. What I am suggesting is you have more tools in your toolkit than you thought. Like you have more spices in the kitchen than you thought. Don't use all the spices at one time. Right? Those of you who cook, Swarnaletha, you know, you don't use all the spices all the time. It's a little too much for the flavor, but you use specific spices at certain times. Understand that you can raise your hands when you need to. For example, let's say we're going to talk about how successful we're going to be. Right? In our stories for championship, we talk about how our lives turn and now we're going to be great successes. Well, if you're trying to tell people how you're going to be a great successful person, but our hands stay here, we're going to be great successes. We're going to be great successes. We're going to be great. We're going to be awesome. But look how restricted I look. Instead, you can be great. I can be great. I'm breaking the horizontal plane, not just with my hands. How else? When I do this, I'm going to be great. How else am I breaking the horizontal plane?
Head, eyes.
Yes. Who said that?
Me,
Me. I can't
Farida.
tell. Excellent, Farida. Sorry, it didn't go green on my screen. Yes, Farida. With our heads and our eyes. Remember what we did earlier? Our eyes, our heads, they tilt. We use everything we have to break the horizontal plane. When you look at my eyes and my eyes are going up there, now your eyes are going up there. We can better communicate with our audience, our dreams, our successes. My child is going to be great. Yes? So let's use everything we have, but in a specific way that breaks the horizontal plane. We break the horizontal plane, and that plane shifts. Next plane, we've done the sagittal plane, the horizontal plane. Does anybody remember the third plane?
Frontal.
Frontal, yes, the frontal plane. And this separates the front from the back. And you've already explored this. Remember, you did all this. We can talk about our past and how it moves forward. How else do we show such abstract concepts? It is so hard to show abstract concepts visually. You can use our hands. Go ahead and try it. These are things in my past. What was in your past, KM? What was in your past? Tell me one thing that's in your past.
Nostalgic memories.
There you go, nostalgic memories. And what's in your future?
Rise to lead.
Very good, excellent. Ravin, tell me, what's in your past and what's in your future? Sorry, sir, I couldn't hear that. It shows that you're unmuted, but... Uh-oh. You got a microphone problem, sir. Well, we'll come back to that, okay? We'll come back to that. Rawaya? Oh, you got it?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Demonstrate for us. What's in your past?
I was more energetic in the past. Now, obviously, being a bit older, I'm not as energetic as I used to be.
Good. Can you show that with your hands? Can you demonstrate?
I was more energetic in the past. But looking forward, I have to regain the energy somehow.
Okay. Does this make sense? And he understood he had to show it verbally, right? He was showing us vocally, but we can also use our hands. All right. So these are things that we have to keep in mind. that we can use our hands by breaking that plane, by breaking this plane, by breaking this plane. There are 3 D's to gesturing: direction, dynamic, duration. Direction, dynamic, duration. Now, we've just talked about direction. This is duration. I want you to take your hand and drop it down. Go ahead. Take your hand, drop it down. There you go, Rawia. Is it Rawia? Rawia? Rawia. There you go. Most people, when they gesture, they just sort of go up and then down. I know, because as VPPR, I'm always trying to take screenshots. I'm trying to take pictures of them during their speech. And it's so hard to get a picture of them with their hand in the air. They go, whoop, 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 whoop. Once your hand disappears, so does your concept. So try this. I want you to take your hand, place it at the top of your screen, and you're going to lower it on my count. All right, on my count. Ready? Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can gesture that long. It's perfectly okay. Now we're going to try this. You're going to gesture from one side of the screen to the other. Okay? Ready? Okay, Uma. Get ready. Here we go. On my count. Go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Duration. What is the duration of the gesture? It can take that long. You can do that. You can take the moment and you make the moment sink into your audience. Do this with me. Remember when we did fingers? Here we go. We're going to go from here to here. All right. We're going to go from here to here. But we're going to do it on my count. Get ready. And begin. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What would be demonstrated with that? Rawia, what do you think? What could we use that gesture for?
Demonstrating a flower opening, for example.
Flower opening, very nice. Anybody else?
Our life opening.
Our lives
Transformation.
opening. Yes, Manoj.
Something.
I'm sorry.
Transformation.
Transformation. Yes. Because some things don't just happen, boing, and change, right? We want to talk about the changing of time. Yes, duration. And for as long as that gesture is there, when you say, I have changed, and I changed from Toastmasters to or when I met my loved one and now my wife changed me, or when I had my first child, it changed me. Now keep it there. Hold it there. Sustain it there. While you're talking to your audience, you can mention this. And every time you mention this, there it is. Oh, there were times when I felt like closing back up, but no, I had to remember I was full of love. And when I'm full in love, my heart is open. Does this make sense? You've given yourself a visual aid. And as long as it stays in the air, that gesture is active and it's in the minds of your audience. It's in the minds of your audience. That gesture is sustained. Excellent. If you're still standing, you can sit down for a moment. I'll have you stand again in a couple of seconds. Next is relating. We talked about G, yes? G out of grow. And next we're going to talk about relating. Relating. Thank you, timer. Humor, story, structure. When preparing for the championship, many people will talk about humor. And people want to try to add humor. And that's always possible. People also talk about revealing humor. What's the funny within? I want to discuss humor as a way of relating to your audience. We share the moment together. If you are having your audience laugh, find what is universal. It's one way that I'm relating to you. I'm relating to you a piece of my life that is simply very human. Yes? Commonality. Commonality. What is common? Earlier, before everyone joined in, I was having a little bit of fun with Ahmed. I forgot what position he had, but I was talking about our haircut, our likeness of haircut, something in common. Yes? So we can do all of these things when we can laugh because we have something in common. So when you're speaking, if you're trying to find a way to relate to your audience, in what ways are you having a common experience? Is it as parents? Are you having a common experience as parents? Are you having a common experience as men or as women? Are you having a common experience with your countrymen? Are you having a common experience of COVID? Bosses? Challenges? Loss of job? Loss of family member? These are common experiences that you are trying to find with your audience, that sense of humanity. And when you have it found and it's shared, that's your way of relating with an audience. Another way of relating with the audience is a story that they understand. And you have to make that clear to them. You have to make it clear that in your story, there is a structure. And in that structure, you are finding certain key points of the story that relate. Your personal story is your way of relating to an audience. Your personal story, where you learn. Because that's what you're asking the audience to do, isn't it? You're asking the audience to learn. You're asking the audience to go, oh, aha, discovery. Yes, you're asking the audience to go, aha, I learned something from the story. But that means your story has to invite the audience in. So yes, you can talk about your personal story, but it has to invite the audience in. Does this make sense, Rawia? You have to invite the audience in to share with it. And at certain point, don't wait till the end to make your audience think about it. I think that's a common problem we have in today in Toastmasters. We tell some long story, and then at the very end, in the final 10 seconds, we go, and so this is my lesson. And so, my dear Toastmasters, what do you think? Oh my gosh, you expected someone to listen for 6 minutes so that they could give you a 10 seconds at the end rhetorical question? We have to invite them into the story and have them think about it long before. Tell me if you've seen this before. To Ali, our interpreter, I'm sorry, I don't have this written out, but maybe you can describe it. It's a plot line, yes? It is a typical plot line. But you'll notice that in the plot line, there are pivot points. And at those pivot points, you have to make sure to invite the audience in. So you first start with status quo. What does status quo mean? Here I am using some Latin phrase. What does status quo mean? Uma, any thoughts? Status quo?
Thing which is on par.
On par, yeah, where we are, yes. What is normal? So first we have to let the audience know what is normal. This is normal in my life, right here. And then there's an inciting incident, something changed, right? Here I was, happy to go along in my regular life, then all of a sudden I had a child, or I met somebody, or I got into Toastmasters. And then there is a climax, right? There's a conflict that builds, and then there's a climax, and then the resolution. Yes? And then there's resolution. But at certain points, the story changes. At certain points, the story changes. You're going along this direction, and then it changes, and then it changes back again, and then it changed that way. Those are the pivot points. And you want to make sure that your audience understands why there was a change in direction. Why was there a change in the direction? Because that's what you want your audience to understand. You want to focus on those pivot points. Those pivot points, those can be pain points. Those can be points where there was the most amount of pain, and you want the audience to understand that. The pivot points are where you invite your audience to think. It's where you invite your audience to feel. You might pause and let your audience catch up with you. You pause ever so slightly, because remember that while you're speaking, your audience is going, ooh, 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 trying to catch up. And for the most part, they're kind of being entertained. You want them to think. Oh, you want them to feel. So that their story has the greatest amount of impact. So this is part of how we make sure that we are relating to our audience. We are relating to our audience. So we've gone through G, which is gestures, R, relating to our audience. Next is orchestration. O is orchestration. Pitch, power, and pauses. I want to use orchestration to talk about sounds. Sounds, which primarily come out of our mouth. Orchestration. Now, in my championship speech, there was something very particular I wanted to do. I wanted to make a sound that had nothing to do with my mouth. And PQD, I don't know if you remember this, but when I knocked over my chair, I made sure there was silence before and silence after. Yeah, there was silence before. I held the chair in my hand, tipped it over, and I tested this. I tested this for hours before I did it, just to make sure. And it goes, boom. And then there was silence after. I wanted that sound to resonate. Everybody goes, oh my gosh, that's too loud. I went, no. I want my audience to feel that. I want my audience to feel the pain of somebody who is seeing the world upside down. You know, when we look at somebody to help them, we're comfortable, but they have lost everything. They've lost a family member, and it hits you in the heart. And I want my audience to feel that. And I want them to feel it through what they hear. Boom! You know, because I tested those platforms. Those platforms are hollow underneath, right? When you go to those hotels, those platforms are hollow underneath. And those chairs are heavy. And when it goes bam, it's loud. I know, because every time I practice here in my own house, the cats went nuts. The neighbor also got a little angry. But I was like, don't worry, after August, I won't do it anymore, especially in the middle of the night. So we need to understand that we are orchestrating what the audience hears. Yes, gestures are physical and what the audience sees. Orchestration is what the audience hears. Most of what they're going to hear comes out of our mouth. And so we have to understand pitch. Pitch is the first one. Pitch is the high-low. Make sense? High-low, high-low. Now I sound like a siren, KM. So everybody's going to do this with me. I'm going to raise and lower my hand. And when I do, everybody's going to make a sound to go up and down. Okay? All right. We're in the middle here. You guys can see my hand. We're in the middle. Everybody ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Good. One more time. Ready? We have to make sure that we can manipulate our voice. All right. And now I'm going to ask some people to do this with me. Okay? And all you have to do is count from 1 to 10. Remember when we did that earlier? We were counting backwards. Okay, and I said, oh, we're going to use this. Here it is. You're going to count from 1 to 10. So you're going to go like this. This is what you're going to do. I'm going to move my hand. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah? Okay. Do I have any volunteers? Everybody right now is going, okay, I'm out. Any volunteers? Okay, Nagendra. Nagendra volunteered first. And then don't worry, there will be plenty of times for more victims. I mean, more volunteers. All right, Nagendra, you see my hand, yes? Okay, you're going to count it out and raise your pitch and lower it as I move my hand. You may begin, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, very good. You ran out of breath, but you did well. You did well. Thank you, Nagendra. And was it Ratinder? Were you also volunteering?
Yes, sir. Ravin here.
Yes.
Ravin. Okay. Ratinder's like, nope. Okay. Ravin did it. Okay, Ravin, are you ready? Okay, go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Lower.
10, 11.
We got to get lower. Ravin. Okay, let's do it again. Ready? Okay, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Okay,
12.
good. Now, Ravin, here's what you have to focus on. I noticed that as your pitch went down, you also got slower and lowered your volume. So we have to be able to separate our pitch from our pausing from our power. Does this make sense to everyone? There are 3 things involved here, and we have to remember that these 3 things operate independently. Pitch, power, pauses. Pitch, power, pauses. So pitch is just the high and the low, but the volume stays high. Yeah? Okay, Robin, here we go, baby. Let's try it one more time. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We got to get a little lower. Can you get a little lower, Robin? Can you get a little lower?
5, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8, 9.
There you go. Give him a round of applause. Thank you. Right? We gotta get that low tone. Excellent. You know, like people sometimes don't understand how important pitch can be. Think about this. You go to a neighbor's house. You go to your friend's house and you knock on the door, Mr. Moderator. You knock on the door and you hear from behind the door, riff, riff, riff. What do you think? I can see PQD's going, yeah. It's a little dog, right? It's a little dog and it's gonna nip at you and it's gonna be irritating. But what happens if you knock on that door, knock, 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 and you hear, "Roo, roo." Right, Nagendra? I'm gonna back away from that door because whatever behind that door is gonna eat me. I'm gonna back away from it. Those pitches can be used for character voices. Those pitches can be used to communicate certain points of emotionality. When I'm firm, it is low, but when I'm nervous, it's high. Yeah, so that's why we have to be able to express variety in our voice. How about when you're driving? How many of you drive? How many people drive? Yeah, okay, all right. Cam, you're on the road, you're driving, and behind you, maybe you're in the fast lane, okay? I don't know which lane is fast lane in your country, but maybe you're sort of in the fast lane, and you hear a beep, beep behind you. Right, again, he's like, whatever, middle finger communication device. I'm not gonna pay attention to you because that little beep, beep makes me think it's a little car. But what happens when I am driving and I hear honk? Right? Oh, I better move. I'm gonna move to the shoulder because maybe there's a big truck or maybe somehow there's a big train coming, but it's big. And I can tell that because of the sound. So we associate things. Does this make sense, Manju? We associate things with sound. Mooney, does this make sense to you? We have to practice those sounds to understand what we can actually do with our voices. Okay, who's next? More pitch. Moderator. Okay, now I've been looking at your name, moderator. Pithambaran. Pithambaran. Pithambaran?
Pidambaran, yes.
Pithambaran. Thank you very much. I appreciate you explaining that to me without making me sound too foolish. Pithambaran. Excellent. Okay, you know what to do, right, sir? Here we go.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Nice job. Nice job. All right. Next, power. Power is volume. How much power we're sharing. All right. Power. Oh my gosh, I just realized I forgot something in gesture. I totally forgot something about gesture. Okay. I'm going to stop where I'm at because what we're about to talk about is dynamic of power, but there's also a dynamic of gesture. So my apologies. When I talked about the 3Ds of gesture, I talked about duration, but I forgot to discuss dynamic. My apologies. I'm going to go backwards if with your permission. Would you all do this? We talked about direction. We talked about duration of gesture. Yes. And now this one is dynamic. Would you all do this for me, please? Right here. It's between your shoulders, right? So imagine that on a scale of 1 to 10, this is 5. Now make it a 6. Now make it a 7. Make it an 8. Make it a 9. Make it a 10. Good. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What have we just done? What did I just make you do?
You made us talk loud.
That's true, but what did I have you do with your hands?
You connected our emotions.
Oh,
Okay.
you have moved the hands to.
Thank you, Ray.
dynamically.
It's good. Yes, this is loud gesture and this is quiet gesture. These are a different dynamic of gesture, but it's the same gesture. Does that make sense, Pitambaran? It's the same gesture, but of a different size. So what you can think about when you're doing your speeches is you have a particular gesture to match the theme, your main point. What's your main point of your speech? Come up with a gesture. Remember when we were talking about fingers? Come up with a gesture that matches your main point. Now, when you have your speech and you're thinking about your main point, you have to share the main point at least 3 times. The first time you share it is in the introduction. Yes, you must share your main point in the introduction. The second place you share your main point is Ravia. What?
In the body. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. In the body. In the body. And if we go intro, body, where's the third one? Swarnalasta?
Conclusion.
Yes, ma'am. The conclusion. So if we're saying that we have to love our family, okay, it's a simple theme. We have to love our family. You say it in the introduction, you say, you have to love your family, right? And that's maybe a 5. And then in your body, you talk about how you learn to love your body, your family, you learn to love your body, how you learn to love your family when you got a child, right? So now you're saying, I learned to love my family, even my mother-in-law. I'm going to love my family. I knew that would wake some of you up. I'm going to love my family. So I go from a 5 to a double 10, 2 hands. And at the very end, in your conclusion, you say, and Rawia, always remember to love your family. Right? So you can go, there you go, Manoj. Does that make sense, Manoj? So you can go from a 5 to a 10 to a 1. It's the same gesture. And now you're able to communicate not just verbally, but visually with your audience. Visually with your audience. So let's go ahead and do this right now. Consider a gesture that you would like to do in a speech. Hypothetical. Would you try that with me? Try a gesture with me. Any gesture you want. Go ahead. Move your hands. Try it in any way you want. Go ahead. Sure. Any gesture. Now determine on a scale of 1 to 10, what number is it at? Try it at a 5. That gesture, try it at a 5. That's the easiest. This gesture is at a 5. This is a 5. Good. Now try it at a 4. Now to 3. Now at a 2. Now at a 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. So now we're going to do this individually. And Swarnalatha, I'm going to pick on you because I think you picked a very challenging one. Okay? This is a challenging one. But let's think about this. Before it came to here, where was it? What I mean, thank you, timer. What I mean is, did it come here or did it show up here? Or did it show up here? From where? Where was it before it was here?
From here. From here.
Ah, so it goes up, right? And so if this is a 5, if this is a 5, now a 6, and everybody, let's go ahead and try this together. This is a 6, and then a 7, then an 8, and then a 9, and then a 10.
Okay.
Right? So now what we're doing is we're communicating to the people in the back of the audience, hey, all of you, it's a 10. And then it's a 9. And then it's an 8. And then this is a 7. And then it's a 6. And then it's a 5. Then it's a 4. Then it's a 3. Look at my shoulders. Look at my shoulders. And then it's a 2. Right? And it's a 1. I can bring my wrists in and make it even smaller. I can bring my shoulders in. Remember this when we were doing the shoulders? I'm using my whole body to demonstrate something small. Yeah? So we can do so much to create those different dimensions. Okay, who's next? Who else had a gesture? Kiem, can you show us your gesture that you chose? Okay, good. Oh, Kiem, you gave us palms up. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Okay, so let's say we do this, all right? You have to understand, I disapprove of this gesture, but I will allow you to have it. So this is a 5. What's a 6, KM? Good, and that's 7. Did you give us the whole gesture? What's a 7? Good, an 8. Now, what I want you to do is not just to stay there, but to come small and then go to it, right? So you learn, because the gesture has, because you're not going to do your whole speech like that, right? You're going to move from something else to that. Okay, so go ahead at 5, a 7, an 8, a 9, come back center, come back in the middle, and then go to 9. KM, come back in the middle, and then go to a 9. There you go. And now come back to the middle, and then go to a 10. Does that make sense? Now come back to the middle, go to a 9. Come back in the middle, go to an 8. Come back in the middle, come back to a 7. Back to the middle, 6. Back to the middle, 5. Back to the middle, 4. Back to the middle, 3. Back to the middle, 2. Back to the middle, 1. Yes? So we have the same, but there's a motion to it, yes? There's a motion to it. We're not statues. Because if we stay still too long, then the pigeon's going to land and drop a poop on us. So we're not statues. There's a motion to it. There's a motion to it to get to that point. If you do it right, your audience will almost sense when you're starting the motion and ending it. Your audience feels it. Your audience feels almost a sense of satisfaction because they know it's coming. In a split second, they know it's coming. They know it's coming. They know it's coming. Yes? So you get that audience interaction. You get that audience engagement because you've set them up for it. You've set up your audience with a gesture that has a shape and a duration. No matter how small, you've set up your audience with a shape that they can reproduce and they feel like, yes. And when they feel that sense of satisfaction, that's when you know you've got them. That's when you know you've got them. Does that make sense, Nagendra? Excellent. Somebody else, show me your gesture. PQD Khalid, I know you're active. I know you're doing it with us. Have you got a gesture that you'd like to share with us?
I'm still learning from everyone.
Okay,
But yeah.
would you like to try a gesture? Any gesture you want?
I think the one you mentioned, if you're presenting something on the board.
Okay, so everyone, let's do this. Let's go with a 5. Put your hands right out there and maybe your elbow's not extended. It's a 5. Good. 5. Now go to a 6. Now go to a 7. Now go to an 8. Look at your fingers as well, right? Look at the fingers. 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does everyone see that? It's the same motion. It's the same gesture. Yes, it's the same gesture, and I can make it larger with my whole arm or even my whole body. Or smaller. But the gesture is in the minds of our audience. So according to gesture, we have direction, duration, and dynamic. Yes, I went back and I had to cover dynamic because I forgot about it. I don't know how I did that. Direction, duration, and dynamic. Moving forward, we were talking about power. We were talking about orchestration, which is sound like an orchestra, and we're talking about power. Ram Kumar, do you have a question, sir?
Not a question, actually. I wanted to demonstrate one of the gesture, actually, I learned from you, Toastmaster.
Go ahead.
Thank
Go ahead.
you. Practically speaking, what we do generally in our meeting, suppose we have colleagues, we come for the top management meeting. I would like to present a gesture. Perhaps I will learn to improve or improvise on that. When we have a difficult situation where there is no time, but the steering committee member, the head of the steering committee member asks our team, do you agree or not? In order to gain the votes, the majority of the opinions, we see each other and we say,
Okay.
one person give an indication that, which means, no, we don't agree. So everybody says, raise their hands. No, we don't agree. We don't agree. We don't agree. The second eye contact, in a way, we see if someone, you have the knowledge you pointed out in that particular subject matter expert. For example, the question is been raised and asking for the, anticipating for the answers. So we make an eye contact without noticing others. Point at this finger, pointed to my right. We move the eye. I don't know whether I can visible or not because I'm using Android. I'm working.
I got it. I got it. Thank you, Ram.
So this is what I wanted to share with you. Perhaps I can improve on this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ram. I appreciate that. It's definitely something that we can do on screen. It's going to be a little bit tougher when you're in front of a bigger audience. You just have to make sure to scale that. Yes, scale that with the dynamic of the size of your gesture to make that work. It's going to be tough with the lips, but it can be done. Can be done. All right, moving forward with volume, power. What I want you to do now is, remember we were doing this. Yes, we were doing this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now what I want you to do is to get louder. Okay, get louder or softer. So this is softer, this is louder. Softer, louder. So I'm going to pick someone to count to 10. And as I move my hand, you're going to get louder or you're going to get softer. Okay, who would like to try it? Manoj, let's give it a shot. All right, we're going to start right here in the middle. Okay, start counting, sir. 1 through 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Excellent.
12.
Good. Now, Manoj, I think you did really well, but you also started to adjust your pitch. So may I invite you to try it again, but just think about the power of your voice and not the pitch. Yes? Okay, here we go. Ready? And I'm going to move my
1,
face out of the way so you can see it. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Good. Try whispering. Whisper, whisper.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Nice job. Hey, give him a round of applause. That was great, Manoj. I appreciate that. Deepa, are you volunteering to try it?
Yes, sir. Can we do it
Okay.
with the, I was just wondering, can we do it with a phrase, a small one, like, oh my God, can we do the modulations with the phrase?
Sure. I just didn't want to put pressure of somebody trying to say something. But okay, give it a shot. So now it's got to be
Okay.
something you can repeat, right? Because you got to do a
Yes,
different
yes,
volume.
I'll try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
So
And go.
we are starting with a,
Yep,
this is the
starting
lower one.
with 5.
5. Okay. Oh my God. 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 Oh my
Okay.
God.
Good. Give her a round of applause. Now, I have to interrupt you. I'm going to have you do it one more time. Okay.
Okay.
I gotta beg you to do it one more time. We are on red. I want you to be aware of your sound. So it's not just the tone of, oh my God, but God. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, it's right. Oh, I just scared the cat again. So So I want you to really be aware of the difference, Deepa, of volume, your power, as opposed to lengthening the sound. All right, let's give it a try, okay? Here we go.
Oh my God. 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 Oh my God.
Full
Oh
volume,
my
full volume.
God.
Let it rip. There you go.
Oh my God. Oh
The
my God.
neighbor.
Oh my
There you go.
God. Oh my 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 God. Oh my
Whisper,
God.
whisper, whisper.
Oh my God. Oh my
Nope.
God. No.
There you go.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh
Let her
my
go.
God.
Let her rip.
God. Oh my
Let her
God.
rip.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
OMG.
OMG. Should have worked better.
Great job. So the last thing I'm going to say before we go for the break is you were lengthening vowel sounds, which is good, but it's different from volume. So think about playing a piece of music on your stereo or on your headphones, and if you change the volume, the singer sounds the same.
Yes.
Right? And so we have to be able to sound the same no matter how loud we are.
Okay.
So I'm not going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? It's the same. It's the
That's
same.
amazing.
Right? Where it's the
Got
same.
it.
10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Yeah. So we're changing power independent of all the other variables. All right, I'm going to hand it back over to Master of Ceremonies. I believe we have some activities right now. Thank you.
Before we jump in, let's bring back the man of the hour, our esteemed guest speaker, DTM Fursey Gotuaco. We've all been inspired by your words, and now we're ready to shift gears and get a little more lighthearted. After all, who better to guide us through the art of humor than someone who has mastered the craft of speaking? So let's give a warm welcome back to DTM Fursey Gotuaco and allow him to share his insights. DTM Fursey Gotuaco, please.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, Nadja. Why can't I get your name right? Najla.
Sorry. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Madam Najla, I'm going to try this online, but this is very difficult to do on Zoom. I want you to ask me a very specific question, all right? I want you to ask me, what's the most important thing about comedy? That's what I want you to ask me. Just ask me, what is the most important thing about comedy?
What do you think is the most important thing about
Timing.
Sorry? Comedy.
Timing.
Timing.
All right.
All right. Yes, I get
I know
that.
that didn't
Absolutely.
work. Try it again.
What
This
is
is
the
good.
most important thing about comedy? Pause.
Timing.
I get it.
Thank you. Nobody else got it. You see, everybody else is like, I'm going to go get a sandwich.
The coffee didn't work.
The coffee didn't work. Ram Kumar's going, that wasn't funny. But I did see moderator Pitam. I did see him go for it, so I appreciate that. All right. In humor, what you want to remember is that your voice pitch and that shift should be even more dramatic. The bigger the change of your voice, the funnier it is. It has to be something unexpected. And so the bigger the change, the better. And usually higher pitches are funnier. Higher pitches. So when we were doing this, high pitches are funnier, but you offset it by going down low, very low. Yes, Deepa? So when you go low, that unexpected, twist, that pivot, that's what we want. We were talking about pitch, power, pauses. Trying to get my technology working here. We were talking about pitch, power, and pauses. And one of the things that we were just doing with Master of Ceremonies, Najla, is, where'd she go? Oh my gosh, she's hiding again.
Back.
Yeah, thank you. No, we're just messing with you. We were talking about timing, yes? And I made a joke about it, but it's true. If you're going to do comedy, you have to have a sense of timing. So pausing is important, and how you pause. We're going to count to 10 again. But this time what I want to do is I want to use my fingers 1, 2, 3. Is that all right? 1, 2, 3. And if I do this, this is take more pauses. Take more pauses. This one would be about regular. I'm going to speak and I will take some pauses. And I'm not going to take any pauses at all. I'm just going to keep speaking. Okay. All right. So you're going to count to 10. When you get to 10, you can go past 10 or you can just repeat 1 through 10. Okay. All right. So even if you don't speak English, I think you can understand 1, 2, 3, and you can speak in any language you want. Doesn't matter to me because I can hear your rate of voice. Yes. So, Mr. Translator, if there are those who want to speak in a language that's not English, it's fine. Training for all, baby. Training for all. Okay, here we go. So, do I have a volunteer to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and try their pausing or their rate of speed? Nagendra! Nagendra's like, I was just scratching. Too bad.
Yeah, I know I was.
I take any motion. Now you know why the kids in my class sit so still. They're like, don't move, don't move. And then when they look at their eye, they use their eyes to look at their classmate. I'm like, you. They're like, oh. Okay, Nagendra. So you're gonna count to 10 and you pause more on 1, slower speed, 2 or 3. Yes? Okay, here we go. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Good.
8.
Okay, now,
9.
Nagendra, you did well on the rate, but I want you to keep your regular voice.
Voice, okay.
Okay? Yeah, because we're gonna speed it up, but it has to be, it's not gonna be like a mouse, right? We're not turning into.
2, 3, 1, 2.
Okay, so speak faster or fewer pauses. Okay, very good. Ready? Go ahead, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good.
1,
Now, what I want you
2,
to be
3.
aware of is you're making the sound longer. You're making the sound longer, but still no pausing. So I want you to put some pauses in there. Okay, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Pause, pause,
7,
pause, pause.
8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Good. Give him a round of applause. Nice job. Nice job. Yes. And hey, listen, it doesn't matter to me that it takes you 2 or 3 times to get it. I'm a teacher. Students are not going to get it right on the first time. And it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get it. As long as we're here working at it, we're going to get there. We are going to get there. Unless the timer has it on red, then you better get it. So, yeah, all of you are looking at me and going, are we seriously going to take timing advice from a guy who went overtime at the World Championships? I don't know about that. Okay, so here's the thing. We want to keep working. I don't want you to be offended that, oh my gosh, he's making me do it again and again. That's okay, because you can get there, right? You can get there. It just takes time. No big deal. No big deal. Okay, who's next? Was that moderator? Excellent. Okay, go ahead, sir.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Excellent. Hey, give him a round of applause. But now, Mr. Moderator, I'm going to have you do the next challenge. Okay? You did great, by the way. I appreciated that. You did really well. Now you're going to do speed, okay, plus pitch, plus volume or soft. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, or 1, 2. But the speed, right? The speed, loudness, the power, or the pitch. Make sense? He's already going, I hate my job. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going to start right in the middle. Okay, go ahead.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Loud.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1.
Good. Give a round of applause. That was good. Man, I tortured him for quite a while there. That was good. Okay. Deepa, would you like to go next? Okay. And after Deepa, I'm going Ravia. Okay, Ravia. You're going at next after the Deepa. Can you go? Okay, here we go. I don't know what you're. No.
Deepa is not unmuted. That's it.
Deepa, if you can unmute yourself.
Oh, she can't. Okay, we're coming to you next. You raise your hand when you're ready to go. Okay. She's like, yeah, that'll be sunset. Okay. Ravia. Are you ready?
Okay. I'll
Okay.
give it
So
a
remember,
try.
this is soft. This is loud. All right. This is soft. This is loud. This is high. This is low. High, low. This is slower. This is slower. Medium speed, fast speed. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Okay. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3,
Louder.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Louder.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30. I got confused.
Good job. Good job. You're doing okay. You're doing okay, Ravia. You're doing okay. Good. Anybody else want to give it a shot? I know it's hard to think of all these things.
Yeah.
when somebody's
I'll give it
giving
a
you
try. It's tough
Okay.
because you got 3 things going, so it's a little.
It
Can you just repeat?
is.
Can you just repeat it once so that I just get the hang of it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So this is soft. Okay. This is soft. This is soft. This is getting louder. This is medium. This is medium. This is loud. This is loud. Right. And this is fast. This is fast. This is fast. This is fast. This is regular. This is regular. And this is slow. I'm going to speak softly now because it's here, and lower, 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 higher, 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 but quiet and slow. Okay.
I'll
All
give
right.
it.
You're good. You're good. You're going to get it great. So I start in the middle. Yeah. Everything's in the middle. It's middle fast, middle slow, and middle volume. Okay. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
Good. Woo. There you go. There you go. Excellent. You're all doing very well. Now we're going to apply it because that was orchestration. Now we're going to talk about the words. All right. So everybody remember what we just did. I'm going to have you apply it here in the second half. What I want you to think about is the words we choose when we write our speeches. The words that we choose when we write our speeches. Because I want you to think about words like a salad. Now, I don't know if salad means the same thing to you as it does me. But in a salad, for me, there are main parts of a salad, and then there are little things that we add. Yeah? And then sometimes in a salad, there's a dressing, a sauce of some kind that goes over the top. Maybe it's vinegar, maybe it's oil, maybe it's milky, but it covers everything. Yes. So there are different aspects to the salad. And even some salads have a little bit more spice. You put like a little pepper in there. Maybe just one, maybe just 2. Or maybe you don't like fish. So you just put 1 for flavor, not 5, just 1 or 2. So I want you to think about that when you're making a dish, there are some things that you have plenty of. And then there's some things you add just a little. Yeah? Okay, so think about that when you are writing a speech. There are some things that you have for imagery, like for color. You have a salad, and sometimes you add things for color. You add adjectives that describe. It describes your journey. It describes your children. It describes your friends. It describes your mentor. So imagery. What are some of your favorite words that you like to use to describe? Any volunteers? What are words that you like to use to describe? Yes, Deepa.
Yeah. Extraordinary, amazing.
Good. Extraordinary, amazing, good. Excellent.
Amazing.
Ratinder, do you have a word, Ratinder, that you like to use to describe? Thank you, Deepa.
Incredible.
Incredible. Good. Swarnalatha?
Powerful, empowering, transformation, beautiful, or something.
Excellent. Very good. So there are images that we can use. Now, let's think about words beyond a single word. Right? Let's you think about words that go beyond a single word. So you could repeat a word. Because I think sometimes we forget that we can repeat things. Is there a word that you like to repeat, or that an example of how you would use repetition? Let me give you.
Hooray, hooray.
Hooray, hooray, to cheer, right? Hooray, hooray. Absolutely. I'm going to give you some examples and then see if anybody else has some thoughts. I think we underestimate repetition. We underestimate it. See what I just did there? Used it twice, Ram. Used it twice. When it's your main point, when it's a point that you want to make sure to get traction, you can repeat it for those very important moments. Those very important moments. Now, you notice what I did there. I repeated the phrase, but I said it differently. Now, I'm going to tell you something that I have a personal problem with. And that's when we as speakers reflexively say things like, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you why we say those things. We say those things to try to get traction with our audience. You could be saying it out of formality. And I get that. If you have to say it out of formality at the beginning, sure. But if you're saying it in the middle, you're no longer saying it for formality. You're saying it to try to hey, look back at me. Pay attention to me. You're trying to get you're trying to get traction because maybe you lost them. You're trying to awaken them to pay attention because you have something important to say. Forget that. Instead, repeat your phrase. Repeat your phrase. Yeah, you can repeat a phrase and drill it down. And you can even slow it to get more traction. So that out of one phrase, I can look at all three audiences, left, right, and center. Yes? So think about using your words repeated, because sometimes in a salad, you might put some nuts in there because it's good. And then when you get to another nut, you're like, oh, yeah, let me find another tomato, And so give us that item that we can repeat. And it gives us a chance to digest it again. The next thing is alliteration. Oh my gosh, man, I think he got, got slapped in the face with a visual aid. Okay, alliteration. What is alliteration? Manoj.
The slimy, slithering snake.
No, alliteration has nothing to do with a snake. Yes, yes, Manoj, you nailed it. The slimy, slithering snake, using the same first letter. Yes, using the same first letter. It offers us a sense of repetition. It offers us a wonderful sense of how we use sounds to bring our audiences closer. So these are some easy ways, easy ways to make our word choice more interesting. There are many others. There are many others, but if I go through them here, it's going to become a list, and then you're going to be like, what did he say? And so you can Google search other literary terms. There are many others. Onomatopoeia, and that's where you're using vowel sounds where words sound like what they are, like crushing, you know? So you can do that. You can also think about metaphors and similes. Metaphors. Oh, you are a tall drink of water. Metaphor. Yes. You are a what? You are a something. Metaphors. So using metaphors in our word choices can help us be very powerful. Now, when we're thinking about words, I want you to think about structure, the macro and the micro. This is where we're going to get very tedious here. You guys are going to look at me going, oh my gosh, Fursey, that second half just got very serious. Yes, structure has a micro and a macro. You also have vowels and consonants, and you have keywords. When you're looking at word choice, think about the micro, which is within a sentence. Are you using the right word, like what I discussed in the tossed salad? Are you using the right word that makes sense within the phrase? Are you phrasing it correctly? Most times, the most important word in a sentence is at the end of the sentence. So look back over your sentence. Are you putting the most important word at the end? Because if you're not, then what you're doing is you're burying your most important word. You're burying it somewhere in the middle. So you have to put it at the end. That's the micro. The macro is in your whole speech. Are you choosing words of different syllables? What? Some words have one syllable, one word. Yes? No, those are monosyllabic. There's just one syllable. Some words have 2 or 3 or 4 syllables. You want to have variety. You want to have variety so that the words you choose have different lengths, and the sentences you write have different lengths. I bet no one ever told you about that, did they? Words you choose have different length. Check and see if you're choosing all the same monosyllabic words or double. If you're trying to do comedy, you might want that, because for comedy, that works. If it's not supposed to be funny, then you want to have more variety. Same with the length of your sentences. If all your sentences are the same length, your audience will go to sleep. You must choose sentences that are a little bit longer or shorter, or they might be in the mid-range. But shorter, powerful. Think about that. Yes? So look at your sentences. How long are they? So in a micro sense, how long are your sentences? Next are keywords. Here we go. Keywords. This is where your head explodes. Sorry, Ram, but this is where people just go, oh, Fursey, you gave me a headache. Here we go. Keywords. Swarnalatha, are you ready? All right, here we go. And those of you who have your cameras off and you're doing all kinds of other things, this is where you want to focus. This is the part where you just want to go, okay, right here, I got to focus and pay attention. Keywords. The most important word in the sentence. What does a key do? What does a key do, Master of Ceremonies? What does a key do?
Open the lock.
Technically
Unlock.
open locks.
It opens the lock. Yes. With that
It's locked.
key, you now get to everything else behind it, right? So
Absolutely.
transfer that image to words. Your audience can't remember everything that you say. Think about it. How many words can you remember from the speech that you heard at the last Toastmaster meeting? If that, maybe zip. Be honest, 0. Yeah? Because you have other things to think about, like lunch. So, if they can't remember all the words, then give them the one word that has the emotion. Everything else leads up to it, but that's the one word. So let's take a basic sentence because, ladies and gentlemen, here's where you and I are going to get personal, okay? We're going to get personal, Ram. Nagendra, let's get personal. Master of Ceremonies, let's get personal. How do you say that sentence? How do you say that very basic term?
Can I go first?
Sure.
And this has to have humor. Did I miss that?
It could be anything
Okay.
you want.
All right. So for me, this will go this way. It will be, I love you.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. What word stood out to everybody? Think about it in your mind. What part do you remember?
Love.
Yeah. Anybody else?
You.
Yeah.
I
Anybody else?
love you.
There's a stress on the I, so I went longer. So that's the focus.
Right? I kind of got that too. I got the I. So here's the
Pauses.
thing. We
Stretch.
It's a
Pace.
tricky thing. If we
Yeah.
try to stress all three, it comes out kind of a lot of strength, but no focus. And so we want to transfer the image from a salad to a laser. So it's one word. One word gets our focus. Because what you just did, Master of Ceremonies, as courageous as it is exactly what everybody else does. We tend to put emphasis behind all the words. And it ends up being strong, but not quite as focused as we want. So, for example, if I focus on the first word, I highlight that one. I love you. What is the meaning? I love you. I can almost drop off the rest of it. I love you. What is the meaning of that? If I put the keyword I, what's the meaning of that?
It's
I'm more
emphasis on
important.
personality who want to express the love. He's stating himself. His individuality is
love
confessing.
It's me. It's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me. Not
That's the
Deepa.
key. That's the
Deepa
key.
doesn't love you, Khalid. I love you. Deepa doesn't love you. She just likes you because of your hair. But I love you for everything. Okay. I love you for your leadership skills. Okay. She just likes the hair. Okay. I love you. Let's change it up. How do we say that one? Khalid, what do you think? How do we say that one?
I love you. So the you becomes the key.
Right? Me. You love me, not Deepa. Right? I love you.
I love you.
Rawia, I love you. I love you. Now, somebody put in the chat, it's about context. Yeah, absolutely, it's about context. But what I'm looking at today is what are the mechanics involved with relating your context? What are the mechanics involved with how you say things to make sure that the audience gets exactly the message that you want? I love you. Because if we try to say, I love you,
Doesn't make any sense.
right? Yeah, Deepa's going, no, you don't love nothing.
No, it's all of the same level. So
All at the, yeah, it's all at the same level. You're special. You're special. You're special. Now nobody's special.
everybody's special.
Now, when you think about the middle word, that's the powerful one, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the one that's got all kinds of emotions involved. And if you saw my semifinal speech, you understand what I'm talking about. Because this was the sentence I used to try to say to my mother for the first time that I cared about her. Because I didn't grow up using these words. I don't know about you, but I did not grow up using these words. My family didn't use it. And people in my culture don't use it. So I had to demonstrate how hard it was for me to say it to my mother on stage. I love I lost your phone number, Mom. So, right? He couldn't even get it out because it's not easy, especially for us men who are emotionally unavailable. And so when I finally did say it to my mother, Mom, I love you. You almost lose the you. And there was a big pause between the I and the love. Thank you, timer. There's a big pause between the I and the love, isn't there? So what I want to talk about now are key words and how we show off the key word, because this is the key word here, love. And this is what I did, love. I put a pause between the I and the love. Now it gets more complicated. Breath, I take a breath. Love, but I don't want to lose the you. I, breath, love you. I, breath, love, pause, you. So what I'm discussing here, and this is where your head explodes. None of you ever thought it was going to get this complicated. This morning, you didn't wake up thinking it was going to be this complicated, but here it goes. I have breaths and pauses. Breaths and pauses. Double slash mark is a breath. One slash mark is a pause. Yes? Breath, pause. Green is primary keyword. Yellow is secondary keyword. Okay, who has a headache right now? Everybody with me? No one's ever shared this with you, right? Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, we're in very new territory here. Yes. This is exactly how you want to be able to analyze how you speak. Pauses and breaths. Now, what's the difference between a pause and a breath? Very simple. A breath is a breath, like you breathe in air. Pause, you don't have to breathe in air. Why is that important? Because when we speak, we're using oxygen. Technically, we're using carbon dioxide. But when you breathe, when you speak, the air comes out. Yes, air, but air can't come out if air doesn't go in. So you have to breathe in like fuel in the tank. So you breathe in, say the sentence, and you only have enough energy for one key word. You only have, in one breath, you only have enough energy for one key word. So that's your limitation. You're allowed one key word per breath. Only allowed one key word per breath. Now, I know your questions. Swarnalatha, she's like, what? You want more keywords, Swarnalatha? Take more breaths. But if you take more breaths, you'll go overtime. So be aware that in contest that matters. In a keynote, not so much. Yeah? So 1 key word per breaths. You can have more than 1 secondary keyword. See, 1 keyword per breath, but you can have breaths and you can have pauses, and you can have 1 secondary keyword per pause. 1 secondary keyword per pause. Okay, any questions so far? Because I'm about to get even more complicated in just a moment. Master of Ceremonies going, I thought we were doing comedy.
Can you just again explain the difference between the breath and the pause? I'm a little confused.
Good for you. Thanks for asking. A breath is a breath. You actually inhale air. A pause, you're simply pausing. No breath out, no breath in. I love nothing going out, nothing going in, you. Yeah? So there's a difference. Holding your breath is a pause. But you can't hold your breath and say that you're breathing. You can't say, I'm taking a breath, Fursey. No, you're not. You're just holding it. And that's different. So if you want another key word, then you got to take another breath. Take a breath. Okay. Now, there are 4 kinds of breathing. What do you mean there's 4 kinds of breathing? There's 4 kinds of breathing. Take a picture. You'll want this picture. Toastmaster Mohini, you'll want to take a picture of this. Thought, phrasal, fragmentation, enjambment. Thought, phrasal, fragmentation, enjambment. I'm going to use this particular sentence. I forgot that some of you all don't use this, but this is a mission statement from Toastmasters. How many of you have seen this mission statement? Yeah? We provide a support, right? Everybody sees that, yes? Okay, now imagine if I did this. The green are the key words. The green are the primary keywords. What do you see as the primary keywords highlighted in green? Do I have a volunteer? This is the easy question.
Learning,
Okay.
empowered, self-confidence, personal growth.
Excellent. Excellent. And by the way, you can choose. Can you see me?
Yes.
Is that better? Okay. You can choose what you want for a key word. It's whatever you choose. You know, the I, the love, or the you. You decide. Okay. So let's go back to this. Where you're like, oh my gosh, I never noticed how much of a potato his head looks like. Okay, so what you want to do is understand that the green is primary, the yellow is secondary. What I really want you to understand is where's the breath and where are the pauses? Take a look. Where are the breaths and
1
where
slash
are
is the breath and 2 slash is the pause. Thank you.
Reverse that, sir.
It is
Reverse that.
reverse. It is reverse. 2
Okay.
2 slices of bread.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. 2 slashes breaths, 1 slash is a pause. Would anyone like to try to say this sentence just thinking about the breaths and the pauses?
I'll do that.
Okay, go ahead.
We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence.
Excellent.
And Ram Kumar Chupali's address is personal growth. Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anybody else? That was terrific. Would anyone else like to try it? Where the pauses and the breaths are. Uma, would you like to give it a shot?
We provide a supportive and positive learning experience
Breath.
in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills,
Breath. Take a breath.
resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth.
Good. Now, Uma, I'd like you to try it again, but make sure to take a breath after leadership skills, because I could already tell from the way you were going to say it, you were not going to take a breath. Try it one more time, please. Make sure to take a breath. Force yourself.
We provide a supportive and positive learning experience.
Take a breath. Take a
in
breath. No, take a breath. You did not take a breath. Sorry, you cheated.
We provide a supportive and positive learning experience
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Stop. Breathe.
in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills,
Breath. Breath. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Breathe out. Breathe in.
resulting in greater self-confidence
Breathe.
and personal growth.
Ah, there you go. Nice. Thank you. Uma, thank you so much. And I know that was kind of like, wow, Fursey, you're kind of like abusive to people. But yeah, we have to train ourselves. We have to train ourselves to breathe at certain points. I have found that some people breathe between the article and the noun. So they'll say something like, he is the, and then take a breath. And I'm like, I'm not sure that that's the right place to take a breath, because it puts a lot of focus on the word the, which is not a very important word. You want to take a breath, because if you don't take a breath, then you'll continue speaking in that same old breath and not enough power to really invest in the primary key word. There are 4 kinds of breathing you can do. There are 4 kinds of breathing you can do. You can do thought, phrasal, fragmentation, or enjambment. You can do thought, phrasal, fragmentation, or enjambment. Thought, phrasal, fragmentation, or enjambment. The first one is thought. That's regular breathing. That's where you breathe at the end of each sentence. So at the period, you breathe, because that's theoretically what a sentence is one complete thought. Yes? So thought is where you breathe at the end of a sentence. Do I need to clarify anything on that? Make sense to everyone?
Repeat once more.
Okay. Next, phrasal. Think of phrasal as where the commas are. When you have a long sentence, we start to break up the sentence into clauses, and those are usually marked by a comma. So we breathe at the comma. Any questions on that? I'm pausing to make sure that people have a chance to understand, because I know this is very complicated. This is stuff I learned in graduate school. Over weeks. Yeah, so there's thought, you breathe at the sentence. Phrasal, you breathe in phrases. The next one is fragmentation. That's when you breathe where there's no punctuation. Sometimes, Manoj, we repeat, we and utter, So we breathe at weird points. Like when I'm trying to do that moment in my speech where I'm saying, Mom, I love, fragmentation. I am taking breaths at very strange points. And if I don't remember to take a breath, then it won't sound good. It won't sound good. It sounds weak, not funny. If you want to make sure it sounds funny, take a breath. Then you can have the energy to punch the word. But even in a dramatic speech, breath, you have to take a breath to punch it. Yes, so the first one was thought. The next one was phrasal. The third one was fragmentation. And that can happen in the middle of a word. Does that make sense, Uma? Sometimes we're going to breathe in the middle of a word. And you're thinking, that's kind of nuts. Yeah, but have you ever been saying something to someone and then you catch yourself in mid-word? That's what you can do in your speech. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Because if you give a speech and you have breaths that are all the same length, then 4 sentences are all the same length, your audience will be asleep. No, they won't be asleep. They'll be on their phones. They will be on their phones in a heartbeat because they already know what you're going to say. They know that once you establish this rhythm, then it's gonna be that rhythm. By taking breaths where they don't expect it, you keep them like on a rope. You're like, gotcha, gotcha. I see you asleep, I stop. And then I go on. If you go back and you watch my semi-final speech, you can find it. It's on YouTube. I'll send you the link. If you go back and you watch my semi-final speech and you watch how I tell my mother I love her, the whole point of the speech is about that moment. So I had to nail that moment. But then after that moment, when I had to talk to the audience about what's important, and I said, love is, now watch, the sentence is love, I forgot what the sentence was, but let's say what I'm saying is, love is a universal way of communicating, okay? Love is a universal way of communicating. But watch what I do in my speech. I go, love is a universal way of communicating. See what I did there? I took a breath. I didn't just take a pause. I took a whole breath, and then I released it like a slow, steady pressure. Breath control. Those of you who sing understand it. People ask anybody who sings in a choir of any kind of music, they have to know exactly where they take a breath. They have to, or they can't sustain the note. But when speaking, we forget it because we think we think that when we're speaking, we're at the Starbucks talking. No. We are conducting our audience like an orchestra. Remember that? The O stands for orchestra. So when we speak, we have to control our breaths. So we can stop in the middle of a sentence. So thought, fragmentation, excuse me, thought, phrasal, fragmentation, and the last one is enjambment. Enjambment. When we enjam, that means we run right over the sentence. And we might say 2 or 3 sentences all at the one time because everything is flying through my head. So you're wondering, why would I ever need to enjam? Well, think about details in a story. Sometimes we have to speed up through those details. Yeah? Does that make sense, Deepa? We have to speed up through those details because not every detail is important. So when you're describing it, you're going, I was walking down this road and the road curved left and then it got dark and then it rained on me and then I lost my shoe in the mud. You didn't really need each of those phrases independently. What you needed was the totality of the phrase. So you enjam. You enjam. You jam all those together. This forces you to have different rhythm. Does this make sense, Nagendra? I know it's very complicated and it's very sophisticated. And it's not that none of you can get it. You can. I know you can get it. It just takes time because you never thought about it. You didn't think you had to pay attention to breathing. Well, if you want to be a champion, you do. If you want to be a champion, you do. So we pay attention to our breathing, and there are 4 different kinds of breathing. And that's going to be thought, phrasal, fragmentation, and enjambment. So this is an example, and this might need help from Zoom Master. This is an example of thought, this is an example of phrasal, where it's divided up into phrases. Yes, I'm going to show those to you again. This is thought. You see fewer breaths. Yes, there are fewer breaths. This is somebody who just wants to get through it because they say it every single week. This is somebody who wants you to care about those independent phrases. I separate communication from leadership skills. I separate leadership skills from self-confidence. This is somebody who's just learning it. Or it's somebody who is getting emotional about it. Or somebody who's scared. And I know you're screenshotting. Here you go. This is somebody who is enjamming. So they're getting excited, but they lost their way. They're very passionate. They lost their way. So they breathe at weird points. Like, take a look at self-confidence. Almost like I'm writing it as I say it. Yeah? And leadership skills resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. Yes? So if you had to take this memorized mission statement, it's a memorized mission statement, but you want it to sound more spontaneous, then you take a breath where people don't expect it. Otherwise, you don't sound spontaneous. And what is the opposite of what is the opposite of spontaneous? Boring. So there's the B word, ladies and gentlemen. Boring. Everything is designed to keep us from sounding boring. Now, most times when you speak, you've got a natural rhythm. But if you're talking about doing a contest speech, and you have to remember, when you do a regular speech, Deepa, you rehearse it for what? This much time? And then you do it, and then you move on, right? You do the speech, and then you move on. Right, Swarnalatha? You do the speech, and then you move on. Right, Ram? You did the speech, you got your evaluation, you moved on. But in a contest speech, you don't. In a contest speech, you do it. You get evaluated. You do it again. 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 You do it again, Khalid. You do it again. You do it again. You do it again. What are you supposed to be looking at when you're doing it again? Right? What am I supposed to be looking at by doing it hundreds of times? You look at this. You look at your breaths. Where am I breathing? Am I getting the most out of each word? Am I getting the most out of each word? Am I, breath, getting the most out of each word? Yes? So you're looking at your gestures, the dynamic, the direction. One time when I did a speech, I'm rehearsing, I brought together 4 people and I said, I need each of you to focus on one thing, just one thing. Don't watch the whole thing, just focus on one thing. And one guy goes, Fursey, you're a better speaker than I am. I don't know what you need me for. I said, I just want you to look at my gestures, okay? Just look at my gestures. And I go through my whole speech, and at the end of it, he goes, Fursey, I don't know what you want, but I did notice one thing. You gesture more on the right side than the left side. I went, oh my gosh, and I didn't even think about it. And if you watch this tape, if you watch this video tape, you'll see my proclivity is to go to the right side. And I had to specifically, in my speech, go to the left. And that was my final speech from 2022. You'll see I go to my left. I start on my left to make sure that I did this. And then I went to my right. Right? Ram Kumar, practice, practice, practice. Yes, but practice strategically. Practice very calculatedly. There is an art and a science to it. And if you want to count syllables, you can. And if you want to count how much time you have for laughter, you can and you should. My mistake is I expected 200 people worth of laughter. There were 1,700 people worth of laughter. So yeah, people go, why didn't you budget time? I did. I just didn't think there was going to be that much laughter. I didn't know I was that funny. I mean, my kids used to say I was funny, but then they'd say, no, you're funny looking, not funny. So so you have to understand. Ravi is going, oh my gosh, painful. Such bad jokes. So remember, when you're trying to think back through everything that I talked about, grow. G-R-O-W. Gestures, relate to your audience, the orchestration or the sounds of our words, and then the words themselves. And realize one last thing. This is our job. A speaker grows and grows others. If in your speech, you're not growing others, meaning the people in your audience, then you may not get the result you want. Your job is to grow the people in your audience. I know you're getting close to prayer time, so I'm going to go ahead and cut myself short. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, District 20. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Khalid. Appreciate it. Thank you to all participants.
Wow, wow, and wow. What an incredible session we've just had. I hope I did fair justice to what I just heard a minute ago by our very own DTM Fursey. As we wrap up this engaging second session, I want to keep that energy going. Now, it's your turn to jump in if you have any burning questions for our fantastic guest speaker or any discussion that you would like to have. So don't hold back. Type your questions in the chat. Let's make this as interactive as it has been since the beginning. So go ahead, unleash those questions. Let's keep the momentum alive and make this question and answer session as lively as our event has been so far.
Master Afsal, interruption. Timer Vidya, please reset your timing card for the QA session, 15 minutes, 10, 12, and 14.
Can
Timer
you just put
Vidya.
our hands, sorry, can you just put our hands up and ask? I've been searching where to type on my iPad. Yeah.
Go ahead,
so,
Deepa.
yeah, thank you so much. Toastmaster Fursey, it's like I've always realized that I have a great stage presence, but as I said, breathing has always been an issue. So whenever you take breaths, it's like at certain points it becomes a little obvious you don't want to, you get carried away. So how do you take a breath in between? For example, you want the connectivity, but you need to take a breath and you don't want the audience to realize that it's something like literally you're out of breath. So how do you go about taking the breaths in between? First of all, how do you place the breaths overall
You
throughout
place
your
the
speech?
breath. That's a great question. You place the breaths where you want meaning. It has to be around key words. And you also take a breath to engage your audience. You should never run out of breath. You should never run out of breath to where the audience sees it. Instead, it should be pausing and taking a breath and letting the audience come to you. Let the audience come to you. Then it's exchange. Then it's a dialogue, right? It's a dialogue. And that's what you want to try to have, as if there was a back and a forth. Thank you, Deepa.
Thank you so much.
Fursey, sorry, excellent, commendable. The straightforward question to you is not about the 4 breaths. Many of our speakers, perhaps me or anybody, we forgot some of the sentences between the speech over and over and again. I have witnessed. But we trick the judge, chief judge, and the audiences, because audience definitely, they don't know what I'm going to talk about. In that contest, speakers tend to become nervous, become breathless. How to overcome that? What kind of a technique you want to disseminate to us? Thank you. Over to you. We want to learn through you.
Like you said, Ram, you practice, and you practice giving the speech, but you also practice engaging your audience. People don't think about that. People think, oh, I practice the speech, and no matter whether I'm in front of one person or in front of 10 people or in front of 1,000 people, I say it the same exact way. No. Now some people believe that, Ram. You're going to go to other people and they're going to go, that's wrong. I give the same speech and it's consistent. And you know what? They won the world championship, and they're going to go, Fursey didn't win. Why are you listening to him? Yeah, I'm a little bit more spontaneous. I like to have a flexibility. I feel that there has to be flexibility. You have to read that room. You have to read that room. Now, that said, I go into that room before everybody else. I know that room. I know that room. That room that I did my semifinals in, I was there the night before. I was laying down on the floor. I was touching every chair. I knew what the acoustics are from every single corner of that room because my friends helped me. The finals room, I was in there giving my speech in a whispered silence in the dark, listening to my echo. I knew exactly what the acoustics would be like. I understood what they saw. I knew exactly what part of the stage went under my feet, because I didn't want it in my silence. Remember, I talked about that silence? I didn't want it to go in the middle of my silence. That would ruin my speech. So I knew exactly what that space is like. So that's part of the practicing. And that helps you, that preparation helps you with the nervousness, because you know it. You know exactly what that microphone is going to do. You know exactly what the space is going to do. That gives you a sense of confidence. So whether it's a contest or simply being in front of your boss, you know exactly what's there. I learned this primarily because I had to help my kids with their auditions. I had to help them get over that nervousness of the auditions. So I told them to hide something under the stage. They took a can of Coke that was sitting there for the break and they put it underneath the stage, and I said, now you know a secret. Now you know a secret that nobody else knows. Nothing gives you confidence like knowing something that nobody else knows.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
We have one more question from our very own PQD.
Fursey, an advice from you to all of us right now and those will be watching this video later on. In terms of the time, what is your suggestion for them or your advice for them to go for? Because some people say you go to the minimum possible. Some people say you go to the end till the dot. And I know that dot is not a good thing to follow, but is it the minimum or it is before the dot?
Now you know that I'm probably the worst one to answer this question.
I think you're the best
Don't
one
ask
for
a guy who went
experience.
overtime. Here's what I think. I think you target your speech for 5 minutes, leaving time for humor, and you should be done by 7. You should be done by 7. And frankly, that's what I was targeting. I was targeting being done by 7. I just didn't expect that much laughter, and I did not expect my brain to add lines. So in my spontaneity, I added lines back into it that I had already cut. But I would target 7 minutes as your end point. And that means you have to wind back the clock. You'll notice that when I do these longer speeches, when I do these longer presentations, I do green at 50%, yellow at 75%, red at 95%. And actually, that's the better way I like to adjust. And so that's probably my fault that I didn't go 5, 6, 7. In my mind, I was going 4.5, right? Or 4, and then 7. And so, other questions? Mohammed Dashti?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Yeah, my question, not question, it will be at the end of my speech, it will be a question. Now I am also our speaker. I am also champion in our district, in District 20. So for the humor. But I make a lot of sequence, a lot of strategy, which we learn from you. But you keep what I learn or from my monitors and our speaker who was advised me until I reach that championship with our district. But you give us the sequence. You give me a sequence. I will follow until I reach that championship. But until now, I didn't find any real sequence from beginning until the end, how we will follow to reach a championship in our contest. That's what we need from a champion like you, Mr. We need a sequence which is written or there is a one video, how we are reaching from beginning until the end, and how we will learn, and how we will teach others from that. So that my request. We need a video or material or whatever, if you can, how we will follow that sequence until we reach.
Mohammed, there is no sequence because everyone has their own style of speaking.
We need your style. We need your style.
I'll tell you my style. You do it, you get critique, you reevaluate, you do it again. You reevaluate, you do it again. You reevaluate, you do it again. So the best thing that I can give you are the things to look for when you're reevaluating. Does that make sense? That's why I presented the way I presented, because you need to know what the tools are. Otherwise, all you're going to do is follow set steps. But everybody has a different process. Like me, I don't write my speeches down.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can coach you. I can coach you on how to write it down. I know exactly how to write it down. But everybody always told me, Fursey, you need to write it down. Like, yeah, but you don't understand. The moment I write it down, I change it. So in my head, I'm like, this is nuts. I've changed it. It's no longer the same. And then to try to keep a running script of all my changes, you go nuts, because I tend to reevaluate my speeches almost every day. Almost every day I'm reevaluating. And then I change it halfway. I literally change my speech halfway through the speech. And you know what? There was another world champion, and he doesn't want to say it out loud, but he does the same thing. He told me afterwards. He goes, yeah, partway through my speech, I changed it completely. I went, oh my God. He said he changed 50% of his speech and drove his team nuts. So everybody works it differently. So what I would say to you, Mohammed, is don't think of it as a linear process. Think of it as cyclical. So you're going through the process of reevaluating, fixing, adding, changing, subtracting, and don't get rigid. Don't get stuck on it. Keep it fluid.
Yes, DTM Fursey, you are right. But you know, if we going for the let we say for the table topics, there is some tips, there is some rules. When we follow that one, we will reach. That's what we need. We need it in the humans.
Don't look at any of those guidelines. I've looked at them all, and they're awful. They are awful. They're just awful because they all focus on the answer. Don't focus on the answer on table topics. On table topics, well, it's kind of true for all of them. Don't focus on the answer. Focus on your audience. Focus on your audience. C-A-R-E. The first thing you got to do is connect with your audience. Yeah, connect. You must connect. Otherwise, they're like, whatever, I got better things to think about. No, you got to connect with your audience. Then implement different strategies for answering. And that depends on the prompt. Then you have to relate to it. Because if you don't have heart, they're not going to have heart. And then you have to engage everyone. C-A-R-E. The last one is engage everyone. It kind of loops back to making that connection. Does that make sense? So strategy for table topic, slightly different, but there's so much focus on connection that everybody forgets. Look at them all. Look at all the strategies. They're all about the answer. Oh, who cares? Who cares about your answer? They want to know if you're connecting because they don't care if how much you know until they know how much you care.
I have some word of that for the audience. Try to be keep you in the hug with your audience. If you make a hug, always they will be inshallah focus with my speech, even if it is humorous or table
and
topics.
Mohammed, I see we hit red light, so I just need to say one last thing because I know you want to carry on the conversation. If you need to find me, anyone, I've put my email in the chat or one of these codes. You can scan me on WhatsApp. And for table topics, Mohammed, one of the other codes is a group I have on WhatsApp. Some of you are in it. It's free. Scan the code, join the group, and you can do table topics all day.
Thank you.
Free practice, free practice. Hey, thanks again, everyone. I really appreciate it. You guys have really been awesome. I know we ran out of time. You can always contact me. Oh,
DTM Fursey, sorry for interruption. Just you have still 5 to 6 minutes. You can continue the question.
What? 5 to 6 minutes? That's crazy. That's just crazy talk, Dinesh. Okay, who's next?
All right, I have a question from I have two hands that has gone up on the screen. I will start with the moderator. You're not counted for today, DTM Fursey. We're going to look at the other hands. We will start up with the question from our moderator, DTM Pitambran, if you may please.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony, and thank you, DTM Fursey, for this beautiful presentation. Now, my topic or the point which I want to discuss is not at all what you described here so far. It's about the plot of the story and how we can relate that. Assume the plot of the core story on which you are creating your speech, developing your speech, limited to a small place, say a place of 1 square meter area where you are, and your entire speech plot is from that particular area. How you may use your gestures, movements on the stage to convince the audience about this scenario?
Excellent question. And it's exactly what I had to face when I was in the contest during COVID and we were in this 1 little meter area. First thing you have to do is understand what is the plot of a story. The plot of the story, if you ask people, what's the plot? Oh my gosh, they give me all this background and they give me all this texturing and they give me, I'm like, stop. What's the plot? And really, what you have to think about is what's the pivot point? You have to think about those points that the audience must understand. The meaning of your plot. The plot doesn't matter if I don't get meaning out of it. So you have to understand that in the structure of the story, there must be pivot points because that's where the audience gets meaning. What you're asking the audience to do is to change their minds, yes? You're asking the audience to change their minds. You're asking the audience to see it from one point of view and look at it from a different point of view. So can they? Can they see it from a different point of view? And that's partly what you have to do in those pivot points. You have to engage them into judging what that point is. I like it, I don't like it. So status quo, and then it goes inciting incidents. Everybody has to be saying, get on it. Yes, do it, do it, do it. Do this. We don't like status quo. Go. So you have to get them to understand status quo is not good. So what are you going to say to do that? Then there's the inciting incident. And everybody has to go, yes, do it, do it. You should do it. You should do it. You should do it. And then when you get to the climax, everyone in the audience has to be going, yes, kill it, do it, embrace it, embrace it. And then when it goes down, you will notice that this was the starting point and this is where it goes down. Do you see the difference here? We have to know that we didn't go down. There has to be down, and there's distance. That distance is the learning, right? The audience has to know you're in a different point now. The hero in the story is at a different point. The hero is usually yourself, right? You're the hero of your story. You're in a different place. The telling of the story, your speech, puts the audience in a different place. The audience started their life here when you first started your speech. By the end of your speech, they should be here. And you have to make that clear to them. You have to make it clear to the audience, I'm taking you on a journey. And then there was a change. And then there was this change. And then there was this change. And now we're all better for it. If you wait too long to say this is important, then they're not going to pay attention. They're like your little grandson going, Grandpa, why are you telling me this? You know? And when we were grandchildren, we could withstand a story of 5 minutes. Today's grandchildren, you've got about 15 seconds before they're on their phone TikToking. So you got to always make sure that your audience understands so that they're not going, Grandpa, why are you telling me this? I'm telling you this because I care about you. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to make the same mistake I did. Yeah? So you've got to understand where those pivot points are. So that's what I would suggest. And those pivot points are true in person and in your little room. Now you consider, when you watch the video, consider what I just did, right? I'm in my little space and I'm able to generate all of that within this little space because I'm turning, I'm pivoting. I'm not taking up much space. If my cat was there sleeping, I would not have stepped on him because I know where I am. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Wonderfully explained. And I got the entire thing what this. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have time for one last question. Just one last question. If anybody has any questions coming up, or else I have.
PQD Khalid has 5 questions, I think.
I have one question.
Sir.
Who is I here?
DTM.
Can I ask
DTM
one
Murli.
question?
Go ahead, PQD.
No, someone else.
No, this is
DTM Murli.
PQD's
Please go ahead,
assistant.
DTM Murli.
Yeah.
DTM Murli, please go ahead with your question.
Toastmaster Fursey, congratulations. My question is, when is that we are going to see you back in World Champion of Public Speaking contest?
Oh, you're so generous. You are very kind, and I appreciate that. I'm going to take a break this year, and I'm going to go back to, believe it or not, what I love even more than competing is I love helping others. I really do love helping others, and I want to focus this year on going back to clubs. I've started what I call 2020, where I visit 20 clubs for 20 minutes, and I'm trying to generate interest so that we get our membership back up in Toastmasters, and especially our corporate clubs. You know, you're in the trio, you know as well as I do, our corporate clubs are having trouble. Well, if you want to zoom me in, that's what I do. I've been doing this with the Philippines and in my own district and in the US, in California, to where I go into their corporate clubs and try to bolster them, give them 20 minutes of something that they can use and get re-inspired. So I'm going to hold myself out of contests this year. I want to help others. I want to help. I think that's my job now, right? My job on this earth is not to win. It's really not. My job on this earth is to help you. And if winning just gives me your respect, but really, I'd rather you. I want you to respect me not for winning. I want you to respect me for being able to teach. I hope I've been able to teach in the last 3 hours and not just suck the air out of the room, right? I mean, sometimes people just sort of suck the air out, and I don't want to do that. I would rather make sure that I give you what you need for your journey.
Like you have your own opinion,
You are very
we also
kind.
want you to come up to the World Champion Public Stage. We all vouch for you. We wish you. You made it. You have earned the respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram.
I really appreciate your kind thought. I hope through your guidance, your mentee becomes your champion, the world champion.
Thank you.
Just one statement. You're not the sort of person who sucks the breath out. You're the one who helps us breathe, literally in every sense. So thank you for that. You've done that today for us.
Thank you, Deepa. Thank you, District 20. I appreciate all of you inviting me into your homes and listening to me and participating. It's really been terrific. It's heartwarming. Thank you.